good afternoon to everyone. I'm Dr. Hima Bindu from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and I'll be dealing with the robotics subject. And my today's topic is robotic applications in manufacturing. Before we come into the applications, we need to know what are the future trends or what are the future technologies which can be included in our robotics applications. Right? So the first type of the future trend is cobots, or we might have already heard about cobots, that is the collaborative robots. What is the use of the collaborative robots and how it can be implemented as a future trend in robotics? That is, this particular cobots are being are being designed to work alongside the humans, right? These are the robots which are being manufactured, which are being designed to work like a human, which can enhance the productivity without replacing the human works. That is, it is used just to enhance the productivity and which is not replacing any sort of human works. The next one is artificial intelligence, implementing the artificial intelligence and machine learning into the robotics, and how these particular robots will be working when we are implementing artificial intelligence and machine learning into robots. That is, these robots will be enabled to learn the data, improving the decision making and adaptability. That is, when we are implying artificial intelligence into robots, these particular robots will become a humanoid type of the robots which can take the decision on its own depending upon the environmental circumstances, right? So depending upon the circumstances and depending upon the requirement, the robots will directly take the decision according to the surroundings, and it is also used to enhance the data in the factory industry, which is it is working and it is more adaptable. So when we are implying artificial intelligence in the robot, the work becomes easier and simpler in any of the manufacturing units. Let's coming to the advanced sensing and the vision technology. What happens here? What is happening when we are implying the sensors or the vision system into the robots? That is, when we are implying the advanced sensing system or vision system, these robots will be working according to that. Is, whenever there is any obstacle being placed in between the work environment, the robots will be working according to the visionary technology, right? That is, it improves the robot's ability to interact with their environment and handle a wide variety of the material. So this particular type of the robots can handle a wide variety of the materials when it is sensing its environment and when it has a visionary technology, visionary action being taking place in that robot. It will interact with its work environment. Right? Next, IoT, Internet of Things. How is IoT being used in the robots? How come the Internet of Things will enhance the robotics? That is, with this particular device, the coordination with the automated system becomes easier. When IoT, Internet of Things, is implied in the robot, it will become easy for us to coordinate with the automated system. That is, these particular devices enhance communication and coordinate within the automated systems. Next, sustainability. What do we mean by sustainability? That is, becoming environmental friendly. The robots, when they become environmental friendly, it has more opportunity for us to work conveniently within the particular required space. That is, developing the energy efficiency and environmentally friendly robotic solution to reduce the footprints of material handling system. That is, in order to reduce the worker efficiency, in order to reduce the n number of workers here, when we are taking these particular type of robots which are automated, it becomes easy for us to handle any particular set of situations in the material handling process. So when we come across this particular latest trends and technologies implied in the robotics, the work becomes simpler and the work becomes easier, right? Without much time consumption, without much worker employments, and which with these particular countries we can work 24 by 7, giving more efficient and accurate products as the output. Right? So these are the different types of the robots which are working in few of the industries. That is, this is one of the type of the robot where the gripper is a gripper, the end effector is a gripper type of the end effector, which is lifting the objects from one place to the other and putting it on the conveyor, and the items are being transferred from one end to the other end. Now, when you come across this particular type of the robots, it is a rope type of the robot where it is tied up to the quantified products, and it is placing it at some other product. Here you can see one more type of the robot which is a hook type, that it acts as a crane type of the robot system which is used to lift heavy loaded objects. Now these are some of the material handling robots which acts on the suction type, vacuum type of the suction end effector, which is sucking the object and placing it on the other type wherever it is being required. So these are few of the types of the robots which will be used in the industries, where we have suction type of the robot, we have gripper type of the robot, we have magnetic type of the robot, we have a rope type of the robot, we have crane type of the robot, we have belt conveyors, and number of type of the robots. Depending upon the requirements, we will be using these robots. Right. So coming on to the applications of the robot. Firstly, where are the where these particular robots are being used? What are the what are the various manufacturing applications where we can use robots, that we will be seeing here. So welding, first operations welding, manufacturing, in any particular manufacturing unit, welding is one of the main constraints. So when we need to do welding operations, so doing the welding operations rather than by using a worker and by using a robot, there is a lot of difference. It is the end accuracy, whatever we are getting is more effective than that of the work output which we are getting from the worker. So welding is one of the process in which we are attaching two different metals which are being joined by heating and fusion operation. Right, welding is one of the operation which is being used in the manufacturing process to combine two metal pieces which will be joined with the help of heat and fusion. So accordingly, there are two types of welding, that is arc welding and spot welding. Right? In welding, we have two types of weldings, that is arc welding and spot welding. So depending upon the requirement, depending upon the constraint, we will be using this particular type of the welding. So here we can see the figure, right? This is a robo and this is the end effector to which which has been attached to the robot manipulator, and here to this particular end effector we are placing a electrode, and as the current is being passed across the electrode and the metal piece, it the particular two when they are coming in contact with each other, it generates some amount of heat and creates some fusion between the electrode and the workpiece, and the welding process will be done. That is generally the spot welding falls in the first category, where two pieces are being joined at some certain spot. Right, and that is wherever we, for example, these are the two materials and we require welding at this particular spot. So with the help of the spot welding, the welding is being done at the required spot. Right, that is the welding falls in the is being done. The joint is being done at the certain points. But whereas when we the spot welding is one of the frequently used type of the automated welding system, where the two thin joints, that is two sheet metals are being joined together with the help of the fusion, and electrons being deposited with the help of the electrode. Right. Next, moving on to the arc welding. In the arc welding system, it is a continuous process. That is, for example, these are the two metal pieces, and we need to weld these particular two metal pieces. So starting from one point to the other point, the robot will be moving in the vertical direction to weld these particular two, that is in a arc, because it's a continuous process. Whereas in the spot welding, the weld is being done at the required spot, whereas in the arc welding, we are doing it at the particular constraint. That is, it falls in the second category, where two metals are being joined along a continuous path, as I've told you. It will be the process of the welding will be on a continuous path, and the heat is being provided between the electric arc generated between the electrode and the metal. Right, the heat is being generated between the electrode and the metal. And when we come across the arc welding, it requires it will generally be done at the ceiling of a container against leaking. When there is any sort of leaking purpose, we can weld that particular constraint, and we can reduce the leakage of any particular object. Right. So each of these welding operations require different types of equipments and different control systems for the robotic arm. So when we come across the spot welding, there is the operation system for the robotic arm is different. When we come across the arc welding system, the operation system is being different. So depending upon the requirement and depending upon the constraint, depending upon the environmental condition, the operation will be changing. That is, a welding process is one of the most important manufacturing application process, where we have spot welding and arc welding to be done. Depending upon the type of the weld, the working of the robot will be changed. Right, that is where it is used to combine the two metals with the help of the electrode, and the electricity being generated between the electrode and the metals, heat being generated between the electrode and the metals. So when we use any sort of labor working on this particular welding process, the time consumption is more, and the accuracy whatever we are getting will be less compared to that being done by a controlled automated robot. Right. Next, moving on to the spray painting. The second type of manufacturing application is the spray painting. So we can see here the type of the end effector, whatever we are using here, is a different type, where it is spraying the paint on the required objects. So one of the important constraints why we are using a robo in this particular type of spray painting thing is the paint, when it is being released from the nozzle of the robot, it creates a lot of sound. Right, it creates a lot of sound, which in fact damages the eardrums of the workers being working in that particular environmental condition. And not only that, the paint whatever we are using, that is the spray paint whatever we are using, is more toxic, which damages the health of the laborers. So considering all these particular constraints, we have manufactured or designed a robot which can be used for spray painting purpose. So generally the environment whatever has been accumulated here in this particular type of factory is very unhealthy and unpleasant, which in fact creates some health issues for the workers being working in that particular environmental condition. So considering all these constraints, considering the unhealthy and unpleasant environment of the painting booth in the industries, made this possible idea of candidates for application of the robots. The solvent whatever the solid material whatever we are using for the spray painting is more toxic, and that is one of the reasons why we have come across the robots to be used for the spray painting technology. Therefore, the operators must be protected by masks and be provided with fresh air ventilation. So that is the reason why this has come into the action. The painting area must be dust free, and it should be temperature controlled, and consequently the painting booth is small in size and inconvenient for the operators. So when we replace these with the robotic machine, it becomes more easy, and it is not damaging any health of the laborers, and it becomes more comfortable to work in any environmental condition. Further, as I've told you, the noise arising from the air discharge to the painting noise can cause irreversible damage to the ears, which we have discussed just now. Right? That is, the sound vibrations, whatever are being released through the nozzle of the robot, are more dangerous, which affect the eardrums of the workers being working with. Right, and one of the other reason of this particular robotic spray painting type of the system is that they are different from those of the other robotic applications. Like, so therefore, many robot manufacturer offers a robot dedicated to this one application. That is, in order to do this particular type of the application, we require a very dedicated robot which works only on this particular form of the manufacturing unit. Right. So this is how the spray painting robot have come into action in manufacturing system. Next, coming to the assembly. We have a number of assemblies to be done. Either when we come across automotive factory, there what is happening? We need to assemble the engine. We need to assemble the piston, we need to assemble the cylinder head, nuts, bolts, camshaft, all this. So it requires n number of laborers to do all this particular procedure. So instead of using around 10 to 20 laborers to do one particular work, we are using one robot to do all the works. Right, that is, you can see in this figure, this is the robot manipulator to which we have a robot end effector being fixed, and to this particular end effector we have different types of the grippers, where each of the gripper is having different system. That is, one of the two fingers of the robot manipulator will be used for attaching and detaching them. One of the other two of the fingers will be used for drilling operation. One of the other two fingers will be used for some rotational operation. So one particular robot will be doing n number of operations depending on the industry. So where we are using 10 labors, there we will be using only one particular robot will be operating on different operations. That is, assembling with the industrial robots are mainly used for all the small products such as electrical switch and small motors. So when we come across these particular type of the assembly operations, we can use a single robot with various operations. So the assembly systems are being programmed and therefore provide a cost-effective solution for assembling of small batch size and for batches containing different products. As I've told you, if there is a different product assembly to be done, that can be done with a single type of the robot. That is, altogether the industrial robot requires the same fixtures, it requires the same feeder and the other equipments for positioning the parts at conventional assembly machine. Simple workshop feeder and fixture may be used because of robot programming feature. That is, here when we require any sort of assembly operations, we will be using these robots. When we require any particular type of rotational operations of the particular product to be done, we will be using the other robotic arm finger. Right? So depending upon the requirement, the robot's programming system will be changing, and the end effect and that particular end effector comes into action and works. Right. So we also have the optical sensor which will be added for the more complex assembly task. Right, the optical sensor is being added to the robot for more complex type of the assembly system. Right, and in order to reduce the cost per arm, there are systems in which several type of the Cartesian arms can be used. As same as the base and share the same controlling system. right? So this is how a robot can be used in the assembly operation of the manufacturing unit. Next, coming to the advantages and what are the various disadvantages which we come across using these robots in the manufacturing system. We all know, we have already seen this. Right? Advantages is it increases the efficiency of the product, it increases the quality of the product, it improves the work environment. That is, when there are n number of laborers being coming and working in the factory, what happens? The environment becomes unhygiene, right? And a few of the production operations require a very hygiene environmental workspace. So when we are using a robot in such particular type of areas, it becomes more environmental friendly and it improves the working environment of any particular factory or industry, and it increases the profitability means what? As the time is being reduced, a number of products are being coming as the output with a good accuracy and perfection, so it increases the profitability and long working hours. That is, as we are taking a human labor, he cannot work for a longer time. It has a time constraint. But the same, when we are using a robot and we are making it to work, it works 24/7. There's no time limit. So it works for the longer hour. It increases the efficiency, it increases the quality, it increases the working environment, it increases the profitability and also the working hour. But the main disadvantage is the cost. But once we invest, it becomes more easier. That is, the capital cost, investment cost would be more, but once we invest, it becomes very easy for any factory or industry to work more appropriately, right? It requires an expertise labor to work. This when we require any robot to work, we require at least one or two expertised workers with the help of which the robot will be working. And once it comes to the maintenance cost is a bit more compared to that of the others, and the programming is complex. We require programming to be done for controlling the robot, right? So initially, whatever is the program to be written will be a bit complex, right? And the cyber security risk will be more. That is, if the robot is working appropriately, there is a risk for hacking that particular robot. So the cyber security risks are one of the disadvantage for a robot to be working in the robot application manufacturing. Coming to the robot assembly, as we have discussed, the assembly robots are used for lean industrial process and have expanded production capability in manufacturing world. That is, an assembly line robot can dramatically increase the production speed and consistency. That is, when we are using a robot in assembly, it increases the production speed as well as the consistency of the run. That is, the assembly line joint becomes more easier when we are taking a robot for the assembly operation. And not only that, the end arm tool can be customized for any of the type of the robot assembly which will be used in the manufacturing requirements. And the robot vision can also be incorporated to improve the efficiency and accuracy of the sorting identified products, right? So when we are using robots in this particular constraint, it gives us a best output, right? And one more thing is assembly of the robot. Applications of the robot assembly includes automotive components like pumps, motors, and gearboxes. That is, we can also use these for installing pumps, for installing motors, and for the gearboxes. And not only that, when we come across the computers and consumer electronics are another excellent area, and medical applications, household applications, there also we can use this particular type of the robots, and it is an ideal for the demanding speed and precious like applicant salience and advanced. That is, when we are using this particular type of the robot in all these areas, the work becomes easier and the work is becoming quicker and accurately without any tiredness and making any sort of mistakes. So we have seen with various applications, that is in welding purpose, in painting, in assembly, disassembling, in assembling of various parts like pumps, motors, health sectors. We can use it in factories. We can use it in computer and consumption electronic in the gearboxes systems. These are the various applications in which we can use the robots in manufacturing unit. Right? Hope you've understood about the robot application in manufacturing. And the next class we'll be starting another topic which will give you more impact in the intelligence robot to be used in the industries nowadays, where we are aligning artificial intelligence and machine learning into it. That we call it as intelligent humanoid robot. We'll be discussing about that in the next class. Thank you. Signing off for today, Dr. Jane.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.